Excellent, and welcome to the TADHack results. I'm happy to have Noah with me. First of all, to all the hackers who hacked on TNID, thank you so much. They were exceptionally high quality. You did make Noah and his team's job exceptionally hard. But you can see he spent the time and he's added some more prize money in. So Noah, over to you.
Well, thank you, Alan. And all these folks, thank you. Together, we can do amazing things because when you create and you put a bunch of creative people together, amazing inventions or different bouncing balls just go around the room until you have an aha moment or many aha.
Many,
So I'm
yeah.
very happy to, be a part of this process with the entire TADHack community. And I'm very excited to be a part of this first real delve into hackathon worlds from being the sponsor in the hackathon itself.
Yep.
So thank you for all the hacks out there, guys and ladies and teams. Amazing jobs. So I want to start by saying it was so amazing to go through these. I had to assign a process to make it a little bit easier for us to choose folks. And even then it became difficult because there were so many values that certain projects or hacks started to really embrace. And I want to point out, starting with the honorable mentions, but I do want to just say that everybody did put a great team effort into this, even if it's just the simple things like, a simple spam reporting or, anything to do with associating a distributed model of information as opposed to a centralized amount of information. So in that, I want to throw some real thanks and aloha Wednesdays out to those who we are going to honorably mention, which we will say disconnection check. Disconnection check, you're hitting a mark that is definitely part of a solution that we would all want to take on, which is how do you store and represent work-life balance? Because it's your rights. Like you're going to work yourself to death if you're not given and your rights tracked. In this case, we saw the individual identity role starting to peek its head out in your design. I think you did a great job. And I think if you continue to work with our APIs and as we release more APIs, you're going to see that compliance and understanding how to share information between either work or what we consider the next gig economy, which is everyone. We look at companies as one of those models that might eventually get disrupted by distributed working. So imagine that. So how would you track it? Well, you're thinking way ahead. So thank you for that hack. Spam T, honorable mention there too. Want to say, this is something that, anything to do with spam touches my heart because we're about to release some real groundbreaking solutions out there that hopefully all you hackathon participants will really enjoy because I'm also a hackathon person myself. I don't code. I'm the kid with the crayons that loves to draw. So you're going to see one of these drawings that is first ever for me to release to an end user. Usually I'm behind the scenes designing the circuit boards, we'll say, underneath the technology. And this is my first stab at giving something right back to you all as a consumer. And that's why spam, again, is one of those things and knowing the people around you. And that does come into, how do you take knowing someone around you? Well, with the voting app, Matt, again, you did an amazing job. I think that connecting any kind of individual to a identity process to your own profile is amazing. But I'm going to put you aside for a second because you almost fell into the honorable mention, but I pulled you out of the ashes and pushed you up higher on the list. And that was because you did that integration. LorrySwap, my goodness, I had to slow down the video speed so I could actually understand what was going on because you pack so much into so little time. I often think when hackers do that, that they're trying to plug what they already have into something as a designer, into something that might be usable in their design. So I really appreciated that. And that would tie into, things like um, uh, connecting into a third-party system. So the other honorable mention that I wanted to add was definitely the TNID login proxy. So David, you really hit the mark there because logging in and understanding that it's all just about an identity. And if you look at the current systems versus what this would do, the current systems were actually, passwords were invented when punch cards were invented. So, so they could separate system and roles. So punch card computers had to have a separation, and that's where usernames and passwords were created. Every evolution or complication that they've added to it is just an enhancement to this old technology. This allows for a third party where they call zero knowledge in distributed technology, right? So they say, all you need to do is know that it's me. And all you need to know at that point is that I can log in somewhere. Is this a valid login? Let me in. And how can I do that? So I'd like some more work in understanding in the future from that hack how you would actually connect a simple widget for a website, webmaster, or large self-building tool to add. That would be the question I would have for that. But honorable mention to you on that as well. Now we're going to get into the larger and all of the honorable mentions. By the way, it's a prize of $250. So thank you for participating.
Exactly. Vote now, just to make it clear, with the voting app, so that's the TNID, OpenID Connect voting app. You're not on the honorable mention list. You're on basically the larger prize. And David, you're in the honorable mentions with your hack. Okay, just making it clear. So we have four honorable mentions with $250 each. And again, I'll put it in the weblog so it's all clear. Just making that absolutely clear on what the list is. So anyway, sorry for interrupting.
Sorry,
Noah, go for it.
My apologies. So we'll just say aloha to all of those folks.
Great.
Next up in the list really started to pique an interest. Of course, I come from communications, and communications technology touches all industry. And when I first started to learn about blockchain and how it could change things from a really broken management system of information to a decentralized, self-managed, but much higher accuracy type of environment. And HealthID, my goodness, that was an amazing drop. That shows that everything you see out there today, all these my charts and self-management applications, they're still controlled by third parties. They're still centralized information. They're still vulnerable. And ironically, if they're so good, why do you go into a doctor's office, even in countries that have great health care, and you still have to fill out forms after form after form after form? Why is that? Because the information isn't sourced from the right people. You're asking one party out of a distributed family unit. Are you ever going to get the right information out of one of your family members about you? Doubt it. I can't even remember half the stuff that I've been through in my childhood years. Anyway, I want to point that out because it's a distributed model and it touches healthcare, and you're using a communication of identity. You have this identity that now you can consume your own healthcare data. You can consume your family's healthcare data and create the best source of truth, the best amazing source of truth of your healthcare that allows the healthcare systems in Africa and beyond to actually be so much more efficient. So kudos to your model there. Next up is going to be digital escrow. Oh my goodness, that was so cool and so well done. And it is the way to go. What you have done actually is you've created an app that exposes a smart contract. Don't be fooled by the name. Smart contract is just executable code that says, hey, does that have that over there? Does that person have this over there? Are they able to exchange it? Once that understanding is met or the criteria of the code is executed that completes that transaction, then the funds that were over here or assets over here can now be released over there. That's the fundamentals of cryptocurrency that also rides on the technology that we talk about, which is blockchain. So now you understand how Bitcoin and trading of funds happen without banks. You decentralize that model. Amazing. So you took it to a very personal level. I think that everything can touch it. You can do with tickets, NFTs. You could do this with everything. But the thing you need to know, and what we came to, and what was really the genesis of all of this for me, is you. You as an individual. How could anybody not start with you? So we need to make sure you are who you are. So let's congratulate you and HealthID because you both walk away with a $525 prize because you really hit the mark and gave us things that were not only concepts that are able to be executed. I would challenge on the HealthID side, and I'd like to introduce you to some folks that I know that are very invested into healthcare into Africa and better healthcare. So that is something I want to help out. So I can't wait to have a connection with you and everyone who submitted. I am wide open to connecting. Next. Okay. So Matt, you just blew me away with the OpenID thing. Like I said, the voting app was amazing because now you're starting to see, yes, you can create anything simply like voting or whatever. We need to have surety in that event. So tying identity to that, tying integrations, and we're about to do this with part of the new way you're going to know certified communications is because of tokenization of elements of your identity that we're going to be certifying. So when you bring in integrations, it really lights me up because integrations are where it's at with me. Yeah. We're building plumbing. And then moving on, I don't want to give you too much credit, so I'm going to not let your head get too big there, Matt, but great job. Then we're going to move on into AnonymiTNID, any kind of reporting mechanism, which we're going to be releasing part and parcel of that this next technology release. And unfortunately, it's only going to be for iOS for now. Don't hate me. We'll bring it to Android later. But right now, I want to focus on doing something really well with your identity and protecting you. But AnonymiTNID is the same type of element. It's taking a verified credential and saying, hey, I am a real person. I'm not a bot. Whatever layer that takes to get to, whatever certification that proves that you're a human and that you are who you are and you're not representing that you're someone else, then I think that that's an amazing thing. Sorry about that. I did put it on Do Not Disturb, I thought. And then last but not least, I want to just say that reporting in general, in any way, is something, whether it's spam, bad behavior, if it's stored in an immutable way, which we plan on doing for you, where you get that option to push it into an immutable place, imagine the world looking at that data and it not be filtered. That's the community we want to build. So thank you for seeing that in us. Now let's move up to one that really lit me up as well, because anyone who brings tools to the table to a community deserves to be part of the community. So I want to say with Throw Them, oh my goodness, Steve, really? Team, really? Anyway, need I say more? Thank you for the tool. Would love to work with you more. We'll talk. I think that Throw Them is exactly what we say. We are going to be adding all kinds of cancellation stuff to your identity too, so that you'll instantly be able to cancel subscriptions. You'll instantly be able to recall things. I like the middle name thing, but I have some really cool ways that we can do metadata that would be hidden, so nobody would know until it was too late. But if you have true identity, anything that's not certified is considered wrong behavior out there. So we can do that. And the top that came from my CTO, myself, and my head of business development. And we already have been talking about this because it covers so many things and it disrupts an entire industry. Oops. We call it, oh, by the way, I came up with this. This will be, if anyone hasn't seen the movie, go see an 80s movie called Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy. We're going to disrupt industry by industry with $1. There we go. So TNSign is basically one of those disruptors. If you can document and store immutably, have others testify or stake their value and role and reputation that it's been certified, whether they're a real certification like a notary or whatever, that could be next. But if you can tokenize that and immutably store it, now tie that to your HealthID or your digital escrow, all of these are the same thing.
Yeah.
It's all about knowing that your individual identity can do something, it can be certified, and it doesn't have to go through all this extra money like places to get there, which does what? It saves you money in the end. And not only that, it allows you to start creating things. Imagine that you can do this for deeds. We talk about in telecom how many forms we want to automate. So imagine how many forms we fill out. I'm going to challenge you with signature, and I'm going to say, once it's stored immutably, unless something changes, why would you ever have to fill out that document again year after year after year after year after year? Why can't you just be asked, or if something can get pinged upon that indicates that nothing's changed, your certification should stay in that immutable place as a source of truth.
Yeah.
So you hit the mark with everyone, because we've been working on that too. So a lot of these we've been working on, a lot we can't work on because we don't have partners in the space yet. But we're looking forward to all of you plumbers, all of you can build on this tech. And we hope you do, because I would license my IP with certain projects and help. Cool. So I want to let you know, Alan, I really appreciate all of the participants, and I couldn't have been happier with the results. Thank you all for the feedback, and thank you for being nice even when some things didn't go right for you.
And each of those winners...
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. Yeah. Each of you at the top of the food chain, the four of you, each of you are going to walk away with $800 each.
Excellent. That's great, Noah. As you can see, there was a lot of thought was put in to all those hacks. They were impressive. I was shocked on Sunday when I was like, oh my God, there's more coming through. And I think the time it's taken reflects the depth of the judging. So again, your feedback across all those hacks was excellent. Sponsorship, of course, without sponsors, TADHack doesn't happen. So again, thank you so much for sponsoring. Thank you to all the developers for creating such wonderful examples. I'm going to get the weblog written up in the next hour or two, get it out and circulate it across everybody. So again, thanks for taking part, thanks for sponsoring, and see you again soon.
Aloha.